and that does make sense because, there is a core set of files, meaning, resolutions, bit rates that you are going to cover like maybe 100% of your user base, and I'm thinking of some of the lower resolutions and the lower bit rates. Like there's no need to
No.
encode those on the fly. They also don't take up a lot of storage. So is it that you're encoding on the fly, transcoding on the fly, the highest resolution? Or I guess it'd be medium resolution because you're sending over like the 4K asset, right? The top
Yeah,
profile.
it's configurable. So the highest profile is, let's say, the input signal or the content, and then we can transcode all the profiles on the fly. But it's configurable. You can say, okay, I only want to transcode the mid range, let's say, or the low range, or it's kind of configurable. But a typical use case is that the highest is used as a source, and all the rest is transcoded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, I know that our listeners are, again, we're touching on, as I already mentioned, just in time encoding, transcoding. That's been talked about for really years. It's been theorized as part of the edge. So these concepts are not new, and I think everybody, has certainly heard of them or even done some exploratory POCs to build something out. But very, very few people until now have been able to go into production. One of the other things that's been talked about is the idea of the hybrid cloud, and the hybrid cloud being where you have on-prem that flexes into some sort of a cloud, and that could be your own data center, or it could be literally a public cloud, or maybe some other, colo, or something. With Akamai, with the connected cloud, we are hearing more and more. So my question to you is this enabling this hybrid cloud type flexing, to what might be on-prem and then going into Akamai? Is that how you're using it? Or are you running 100% the infrastructure on Akamai? Or what does that look like,
Yeah, it's a
your use
combination.
of?
I typically broadcasters, they don't want to hassle around with hardware and on-prem, so it's most of the times fully cloud. There are always exceptions that prefer everything on site. The tier ones operators on the other end, they typically prefer to have everything on-prem, although there's a change. But what we also see is, for example, what they do is all the main channels are running on-prem, but pop-up channels like Champions League finals, Olympic Games, special events, UFC, and then these special events. These are typically spinned up in the cloud because it's kind of a pop-up channel. It's only they spin it up for a few days, for a week, or whatever, or even for an hour, and then they tear it down again. And then, now that we have this just-in-time transcoding, this is even better because then there's only
Even
one
better.
feed that needs to go into the cloud, and then all the
Yeah.
rest is done from there. So,
Yeah.
this is
Interesting.
definitely a valid use case. Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So what I hear you saying is the use of Akamai or some other, cloud platform. It could be in both cases. Somebody could be running 100%, their workflow on the connected cloud, on Akamai's connected cloud, or they could be flexing into it, running kind of a combination, right? A true
Correct.
hybrid.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then from our end, it's one UI, and then you can just deploy wherever you want. And then you say, okay, if I, for example, I only want to do live in the cloud, you spin up a live instance with the microservices needed for running live. You can have a separate node for VOD only, because typically these are different use cases. For example, for video on demand, it's egress based. For live, it's kind of static bit rate that you need, and you need to record the local buffer for time shift TV. So we can kind of mix and match with our microservices and then deploy them in specific cloud nodes where needed, or even specific regions. So if you have a regional broadcaster, for example, or regional channels, we can just stream them to a local connected cloud, a cloud instance in Akamai Connected Cloud, and then do everything from there.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And as you said in your introduction, flexibility is very important. Energy conservation. I think it all can be summed up in the word efficiency, right?